Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Farinas, and I'm the CEO and creative director of House of One, a Miami-based interior design studio. And we focus on high-end residential and boutique commercial projects. I actually grew up around furniture and design my entire childhood. My mom, she worked at El Dorado Furniture. So growing up, I spent a ton of time there. And I didn't really realize what an opportunity going into the interior design field could be until after I graduated high school and I started to do some research. So I went ahead and got my real estate license. And while I was working at, one of the biggest commercial real estate firms in Miami, I, kind of started getting a little bit of a sneak peek as to what the design process was like for some of these big commercial projects. And immediately I was hooked. I was doing a ton of research and I went to design school, and within, about, I think it was like almost a year, I got my first project. So I consider that, year one. And then by year two, everything kind of doubled. And then year 3, 4 just kept going. So fast forward now, we're a team of about 6 people in the house and then 2 outside the house. We have a few projects that are outside of Florida right now. We have one in California, and then we have one in North Carolina. So those are 2 really exciting projects. In the future, maybe House One will expand into other markets. But I think, Miami is always going to be our main market. It's, it's where I was born and raised, and there's a ton of business, and opportunities available here. So I just, I'm not limiting ourselves, but I definitely will say I love Miami and it's our main market. At this point, there is really no project that doesn't have a bespoke design, whether it's custom furniture, art feature, custom lighting, even plumbing fixtures. I mean, there's so many things that we do now that's custom, but the name House of One comes from the idea that, every project that we do really starts from the approach of how can we make this, a wow factor for, across all facets of the project. How can we make it personal to the client, but also something that feels truly unique. So we don't shop, a ton of retail. A lot of where we get our pieces from is, very much by the trade and for the trade only. And then the rest of the items we typically will design custom. So it may start from a sketch. It might start from, a fabric or a special detail. And then we sort of develop that in-house into what becomes the custom piece. I think one of the biggest challenges is timeline. We are still dealing and seeing supply chain issues lingering from, the pandemic. And unfortunately, it is what it is. And kind of pushing that against, people wanting to move into their houses. I mean, there's a ton of factors that play into this, and I can go, more into detail, but I think really it's time, and we don't have that much of it during a construction project. And there's a ton of factors that are, involved in different parties. So whether it's a light fixture that's on, back order, whether it's, furniture, plumbing fixtures, whatever it is, these are all going to cause delays and, to some degree, a strain on the project. We've also been developing is our own signature collection of furniture. And that's going to sort of play into a staging division for the company. And I think, once that's kind of put into motion, it'll be really exciting to see, the growth of that company. Because over the last few years, I've developed a ton of relationships with real estate agents, developers, and even our end users who have become real estate investors, and being able to sort of, have both sides of this interior design business where it's full service, but then we also are able to, kind of be that resource for that luxury on demand, sort of service. I think it's going to be amazing, and we're really excited because obviously, House of One brings all the custom, so kind of giving staging that sort of custom, approach is going to be something I think is new to the industry. So we're really excited to see where that goes. I think something that people may be surprised to know about me is that I'm actually a very like tech forward person. I've always been very on the forefront of what's going on in technology. Like even when I was younger, I remember I was just always very much like kind of advanced, just always on the computer, figuring out ways. I used to do website coding when I was like 13 years old. And I think that's played a huge role in kind of how I was able to grow my business because, I started out doing all the CAD drawings and, 3D modeling on my own. And then now we're sort of developing something really exciting, which we've already started implementing in our design projects, which is the use of virtual reality and being able to give the client this sort of immersive experience, standing in their spaces and sort of, seeing it 360 and live, which has helped them not only understand the relationships between the scale of the components in the room, but also sort of give them that, really cool and fun kind of twist to the design process. No AI. I have no plans on using AI ever in the firm because that's just not part of our DNA, right? Like we're completely the opposite. We don't want anything that's generated, by any other party. We just want to kind of almost take it old school, pen to paper. I always encourage the team, like, get back to the drawing board, literally, like sketch your ideas out, whatever, whether it's a piece of furniture, a millwork profile.